Hello and welcome to The Good, The Bad and The Wtfs Volume 5 for Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's the 41st Van Damme film in less than 3 weeks. Wow. So, I've just watched The Expendables 2. Now, I'm going to do something weird. Not really weird, but I'm going to start Scott Atkins' Good, The Bad and The Wtfs Volume 2. Scott Atkins has also been in this as well, so I'm going to do the same review twice for a different video. Move the camera angle, of course. But no, I absolutely love Expendables 2. The idea when the Expendables originally appeared on IMDb was to say, wow, imagine making that. And I watched Expendables 1 last week because I wanted to watch 1 then 2. And you know the scene with Bruce Willis, Stallone and Schwarzenegger's just like it's awesome, but it's kind of like I was expecting a bit more. I think everyone was. Now Van Damme was meant to be in the original Expendables along with Wesley Snipes. I can see Wesley Snipes was meant to be Terry Crews's character Caesar, and Randy Coltridge. That's probably who Van Damme originally was, which would have been a dream team, wouldn't it? But I think the second one's awesome. Directed by Simon West, who directed Con Air. So it's surprising, like Nicolas Cage, isn't it? Because obviously Simon West has worked with Nicolas Cage quite a few times. It's more funny than the first. It knows what it is. I mean, Chuck Norris just fucking turned up randomly as the lone wolf. But the scenes with Stallone, Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis are absolutely just gold. Like, absolutely gold. It's violent. I think it could have done better, you know, a bit more F-bomby. But Van Damme as the bad guy is amazing. Like, literally Van Damme, I mean, coming off like seeing him in Black Eagle and No Retreat, No Surrender, it's kind of Van Damme being bad, as well as Scott Atkins. Now, it's a shame Scott Atkins doesn't get his name in the credits, but again, it's alphabetical order, most of the part. Or is it not? It might be, you know. Atkins, but Scott Atkins deserved his name up there on the box with the rest of them, because he would branch off to be a bigger star as well. Great action, great stunts. Van Damme's an evil bad guy. We get Van Damme versus Stallone at the end. Van Damme gets his kicks in, his trademark kicks. I often, as a kid, wanted a sequel to Demolition Man, and who better to be in the sequel to Demolition Man would have been Jean-Claude Van Damme, because you could have had a sequel to Demolition Man because another prisoner just got released, and I always had that vision of, you know, Stallone and Van Damme heading off together, and just to see them in this fight finally, it's great. The funny thing is, rumours are that Van Damme's going to reappear in Expendables 4 as a twin. Of course he is. I'm the fucking leader of the goats. But no, I really enjoyed it. It's funny, it's action packed. Again, the third one gets a lot of shit, but again, it should have been a bit more R-rated. But yeah, this is The Good, The Bad and The Wtfs Volume 5 Van Damme films. Volume 5, 41st film Van Damme. And I've got to wait for one of them to come to the post. I don't even have 10 films yet, but one should be here tomorrow, Tuesday. So yeah, see how this one goes. Okay, the second one for Good, The Bad and The Wtfs Jean-Claude Van Damme Volume 5 after The Expendables. Strangely enough today I've only done Expendables and this one, Maximum Risk. Now this is a big box, X-Rental this one. Blockbuster Video, decided to stamp Blockbuster Video all the way along. Maximum Risk. Was going to be called The Exchange, and then was going to be called Bloodstone. There's no really stones in it, but Natasha Hensrick Ride, whatever you call her. Last Some Species, also in John Carpenter's Ghost from Mars. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You would think that the sex scene would try and do The Specialist, what Stallone was doing around there. 96. I always think of this movie around about the late 90s, not 96. It's a flip cover, so it's pretty cool. That's pretty much the standard cover you get everywhere. It's a little bit more wider. No, it's not. It's exactly the same on the DVD. It's over there. So yeah, Van Damme getting teamed up. I mean, I do like the alternative cover, but it's a shame to stamp Blockbuster Video all over it, like nostalgia for you. So it's directed by Ringo Lam, who went on to also direct Replicant and In Hell. So I've had that for a very long time. So it starts off and guess what? Van Damme's a fucking twin. So in a way, it's kind of like, right, is it like, was it originally a sub idea from Double Impact? Now this is the first Sony contract for Van Damme. He got a picture deal, so stuff like Replicant, Double Team was part of this contract. So they've paired him up with like Natasha Hendrickson on this, and he's a twin. Now his twin gets killed at the start. Pretty brutal death, goes flying off a fucking crazy moped through a windshield. And then Van Damme has no idea he had a twin. Van Damme tries to find out who his twin was, and his girlfriend, played by Natasha. And Van Damme gets accused of being his brother, and his brother's in the Russian mafia. The only good credit to this movie, though, as well, when you do hear his brother speak on one of the dictaphones, Van Damme's worked very hard on a very different accent, considering Van Damme's raised in France in this, and his brother's raised in America, but involved with the Russian mob and stuff. So there's a lot of fighting in it. There's fighting in the bathhouse. Van Damme and his little towel fighting away, fighting in rooms. There's fighting in elevators. There's quite a few car chases, car flips. The production's pretty big, actually. There's, as I say, there's stuff in France, in Europe, and then there's a lot of stuff in New York. Well, New York mainly looks like Chicago and stuff like that, but you know what I mean, they've shot it on the streets. They've hoped well for this. I mean, Van Damme at the time would have been just coming off Street Fighter, you know, who's the next big one, hard 18 rated, but even in the UK it was cut on VHS because it's not particularly very violent. I mean, you do cringe when the guy gets stabbed in the foot with a knife, but gory wise, I mean, yes, some people get shot and stuff like that point blank, but this, again, with the sex scene, you would think that they probably would have went all out with that, you know. But I wouldn't say it's a good film. It's not what I mean. It could go borderline what the fuck, because Van Damme's a twin again. It's like, what? Yeah. But no, I mean, again, he's not dialing in performances in this. Like, at this time, I think Van Damme's really, like, I mean, I've just read a bit of his bio and stuff, how he suffered with bipolar and stuff like that, and he, you know, he was on and off the radars and stuff like that, and the mid-90s, he's peaked, and this is just as he's starting to slide down the slope, I think. I just think this film just misses something offbeat about it. The henchmen, the baddies, the recognisable faces, but again, it's kind of like, in these kind of movies, do you cast better, like a better bad guy, you know, like a Philomene Fu for Van Damme. But yeah, it's good, the bad, and the what the fucks. Hopefully my other film for Van Damme will come tomorrow. I'm going to watch We Die Young on Sky Movies, and any ones with Scott Atkins in, I'll be crossing over. So I've filmed the first 3 parts of Scott Atkins, cheating in a while, because I'll be watching that one, crosses over to this one, Universal Soldier, recap to review for that, and then Avengement I'd seen not long ago, so we're just going to use review randoms to cross it over. So yeah, right, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to bed. Right, I'll see you in the next one, which could be something random. Of course it's going to be something random, it's Van Damme. Okay, next up for the Jean-Claude Van Damme, the good, the bad, and the what the fuck's the third one. This is Assassination Games. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Scott Atkins, twice the fire. When the film starts, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Assassination Games, then Scott Atkins, so it's cool that they bill Scott Atkins over the top. This was just before Expendables 2, and after the Shepherd. Shepherd will be in this run of films. But yeah, Scott Atkins and Jean-Claude Van Damme team up. Now, what it looks like, it's going to be a fight-off, a duel-off, you know, especially Assassins was a really good film with Stallone and Antonio Banderas back in the day. This comes across, this, as soon as it starts, you're like, whoa. Now, it's all been set in Romania, and it has a very drained yellow colour. The first opening scene, you're like, uh-oh. So the storyline is basically, Van Damme is just a hitman. Goes around murdering people, of course he does. Like, all he wants is some jewels. And you think, well, Van Damme's going to be the bad guy. He's living next door to a guy who moves in who's a pimp. And you can kind of see that Van Damme's going to be like sort of maybe to be an assassin with a heart of gold kind of thing. Meanwhile, Scott Adkins is mentally gone crazy because his wife was brutally gang raped and put into a coma. He's caring for her, but he's also an assassin, and the guy who did all this is about to come out of prison. Van Damme gets the contract to come and kill him, and basically they collide, get a little duel fight, and then they go off to like save the day together kind of thing. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a duel off, but it's not. Some great martial arts in this. There's a mint bit I've thought about this in the past where fucking Atkins just runs up and does this massive drop kick to this guy like looking out the door. And it's a great little stunt. Hard hitting in some bits. Fits slow paced on time. It's almost a passing of the torch movie. You know what I mean? Van Damme's just sort of like, right, this is Scott Atkins. So it's pretty cool in that respect. As I say, the production is a little bit lower. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? It's kind of, this director's directed loads as well. Ernie Bushmush. If I don't call Van Damme, Scott Atkins. Chris Van Damme is in this, but he's got the real name Vangberg, or whatever the Van Damme's real name is. He's in it as one of the coppers. And I'm sure Van Damme's daughter's in this as well. So yeah, as I say, it's alright. This is about the time when the tournament was getting made as well. 2011 this came out though. I mean, I think this took a while to come out distribution wise, but Brazil, Jean-Claude Van Damme is a contract killer willing to take on any job for the right price. Flint, Scott Atkins, left the assassination game when the ruthless drug dealers brutally attacked his wife and now in a coma. When the contract is put on the cold-blooded drug dealers, both Brazil and Flint want him dead, one for money, the other for revenge. With cooked Interpol agents, vicious members of criminal underworld hot on their tails, these two assassins reluctantly join the forces to quickly take out the target before themselves are terminated. Yeah, assassination games. It's got some good bits, but if you're going to go good, the bad, and the Wtfs, it's kind of a bad film, like, so. Sorry. Next. Okay, next one is The Shepherd. I've absolutely just loved this film. Not following the story much, but the fact that the Alpha Stunt team in Bulgaria is all over this. The tournament was made just after this, and I've sat and watched that there, and there's people I've worked with just in the background, a few extras, you know, Bomber, JJ Perry's in this, who's in the tournament. He's also in my movie. JJ did a lot of stunt work. He's the immigrant, the Tash. He's got a proper sex pesh Tash. Scott Atkins is in this as well. There's quite a few of the extras in it. It's hilarious because it's all meant to be shot in Mexico, but it's all been shot in Bulgaria. If you've seen the tournament, the runway scene with a double-decker minibus and all the chasing on that, that's all been built when they go across the border. The bridge Sebastian jumps off in the tournament, that's the bit where Van Damme's shooting down off it. Oh, it's just, you know, there's some of the stunts as well. The Alpha Stunt team were absolutely class because you could at least chuck them on the pavement, the bounce. Lovely bunch of lads, and they're very smart as well about stuff. You know what I mean? They're a group, they're a family, and it's great. So it's a product of the time. That's JJ on the front, by the looks of it. Yep, it's JJ on the front. Amazing guy. He's went on to do so much. So this movie is basically Van Damme is basically looking for a bit of retribution. If anyone's seen Last Blood, it's kind of like it's channeling that. You know what I mean? Jean-Claude Van Damme. Shepherd Border Patrol is its full title. It's on the back, the full title. It's not when it comes up. It's a fight factory, so there's a lot of Van Damme films like this. The Order of all fucking things is advertised inside it. It's a 15. Maybe it's could have done with an 18. A bit more violent, but Van Damme comes to town, kicks some ass. Scott Atkins plays the henchman at the body. Scott Atkins gets a really good showcase in this. He does some amazing kicks, flipping around, kicking people. You think, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I mean, the first 5 seconds he's kicking somebody through, like, up in the air. And you get an amazing fight with Van Damme and him later on. Even though when Scott does this amazing kick and then Van Damme's flying through the air in slow motion, then all of a sudden Van Damme's on the floor and it's like, whoa, that was a bit of a bad edit. Channel's a bit of like Mexican. And I got a Mexican like Eric Sara vibe off this as well, so I enjoyed it. To be honest with you, it's been on the back burner for ages to watch, and revisiting it now, especially of all these Van Damme films. He's went to Bulgaria for what he's done. I mean, he kind of he's not dialing into it. He knows what it is. He only got some good money, but Van Damme was going to be in the tournament at some point. It's some character. Just another deal that didn't really go through, but again, it's just great to see the Bulgarian stunt team. That is like a cousin to the tournament. There's that much connection to it. So yeah, that's Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that's the Shepherd. Okay, the next one is Until Death. Now, there's 3 different cuts of this movie, and I definitely got the bleak one. I mean, the fucking ending there, I was just like, whoa, it's a bit morbid. So there's different versions of it. Apparently there's a happier ending. But yeah, Until Death came in 2006. Now, straight up, this was straight filmed in Bulgaria, so it was just like weird watching the Shepherd then this. And then the very first opening scene, my friend Rachel's in it. I was just like, fucking hell. I was like, because Rachel's been in a few films. She does a lot of travelling, modelling and stuff like that. But I was like, fucking hell, Rachel's in the start. Didn't realise that. And the film starts off, and it's weird as the movie goes along, because his partner from the Shepherd, the black bald guy, he's in it, and then the main bad guy from the Shepherd is in it, but he's the henchman. So it's fucking weird. Stephen Ray or Stephen Fry. Stephen Ray is in this, so he's definitely taking a little paycheck playing the villain. And it's a very bleak film. It's a very grounded film. You know, Van Damme just looks off his tits, and because he is meant to be off his tits, heroin addict. I'm surprised looking at the actual movies at 15, because there's some very explicit, sexual, bloody bits in this movie at the start. So Van Damme's a copper, and basically meant to go undercover, ends up becoming a drug addict. Looking at sources, his wife wants a divorce. She's pregnant with a guy's kid. Van Damme doesn't know how to go with it, and you think, where the fuck's this movie going? Because Van Damme's not very likeable to start this movie. You know, he has fights with random people, and has a few shootouts and stuff. The guy in the restaurant is also from the tournament and was also in the Shepherd. So there's a few of the Bulgarian guys. I don't think the Alpha stunt team's got anything to do with this one. The only location I sort of recognise from the Bulgarian thing is the end fight scene, which I believe is the same location as the slaughterhouse from the tournament, because we only used a bit of the slaughterhouse, but the fucking, you walked out the back door, and I didn't discover this about 4 days later. And I was walking out the back door, and just fucking, it looked like miles of just abandoned rural fucking glass over dome shattered the fuck, like, where the fuck are we now? That's the story of Bulgaria. Like, you would get up in the morning, you would get picked up by your driver, and then you'd be like, where the fuck am I now? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, going back to the movie. The movie takes a fucking weird twist when Van Damme gets shot in the fucking head, and it's like, what the fuck? And they spent some money on CGI bullets in this movie, and next thing you know, it becomes marked for hard to kill. You know, Van Damme's in a coma for 6 months. There's a lot of black and white imagery. Stephen Ray goes on a fucking mad killing spree. And then Van Damme, you know, wakes up, learns his alphabet, and next thing you know, he's sharp, up and about. The kid from Blair Witch Project's in it. Was bugging as what I'd seen him in. But the kid from Blair Witch was in it. And then, you know, Van Damme just sort of like comes back to save his wife. In a big shootout at the end, you know, just sort of up and running straight away. I was just like, what the fuck? But it was a long movie though. I mean, long. I mean, it's to say this was the bleak ending. So this was the 102-minute one. Millennium Films, Simon Fallow's director. He's made his own cut. Van Damme made his own cut. Until Death, Bulgaria. Slick and dark and thrilling. Van Damme back at his best. Not really blockbuster. Jean-Claude Van Damme, one of the most acclaimed action star, returns form in Until Death, playing a dirty cop fighting to capture his ex-partner. But yeah, it is, but I say probably a harder age cut, better from cover, I'd imagine, as well, because that shotgun's a bit weird, but it looks like he's going to be pulling a mullet. Honest to God, he looks like he's got the Elvis Presley hair going on there, slicked back. But it's really good though, because like after he's been in a coma and he's standing there at the end wanting to fight and stuff like that, you can see like he's fine, because the first half of the movie you think he's fucked in this. But nah, I'm saying, like, grounded movie, cop thriller, marked for death, but just a weird one really. I don't want to say it's a bad film because Rachel's in it, but yeah. Until Death.
Okay, the next one in the Jean-Claude Van Damme, The Good, the Bad, the Wtfs, is A Pound of Flesh. This is the best one I've seen in a while, mind. It's a 15, should be an 18. Fucking brutal. It's from the director of Six Bullets and Assassination Games. You wouldn't think that, but it's weird as well because you've also got the brother from the Kickboxer remake as the henchman, and then you've also got the slave trader from the Quest and also the shop owner from Cuffs in it as well. So there's a bit of reunition. Got that right. First off, the start of this movie, I really like the editing. It almost feels like there's a different editor filled out the end of the movie, but basically Van Damme is walking around. He's a bit of a bastard. Basically stops in the street to help a girl out, wakes up in a bath full of ice, and yes, he's missing a kidney. And it's quite good. It's really good editing and stuff like that, and I quite enjoyed that. So he's basically missing a kidney, so his brother comes to help him. He's come to town, and basically turns out that Van Damme is in town to give his niece his kidney. And because Van Damme's on the list, this rich guy's went, ooh, that guy. So that's how he's been basically targeted. Sliced open and kidney. But he's still a force to be reckoned with. Now, there's a guy at the start of this movie who helps Van Damme out with a fucking stick. He was fighting class. It's a shame he got killed off quite quickly because I think, oh, that's an interesting concept. But now the film takes some twists and turns, and it's got some grounded, and it's got some, like, you know, some really good twists in it. Especially about the relationship between him and his brother. The fighting in it's really good. I mean, there's a lot of CGI bullets in it, but there's some proper men. I mean, there's a Finn Balor DDT at the start of it when he lifts the guy right up and just fucking drops him down. But then there's an amazing stunt, considering this is quite the newest Van Damme movie. And they box the car in, and he's fighting these people in the car, and he's punching them. And then he ends up with his foot. I mean, I can't fucking lift my foot that high. Like, ow, see what I mean? Ow. Oh no, so he's like that. He's got his foot on the window, fucking review mirror, the side of the car, and the car starts zooming along the street, and he's doing the fucking splits, and you can see it's Van Damme. It's not a stunt double. Fuck. It's a stunt double when he goes flying off the fucking boat. That was really. Look at that. But yeah, it's a good little. As I say, there's a lot of good fighting in it, takedowns and stuff. I just thought this film had a bit of style. As I say, it changes gear, but it's just finished there. But the black market is about to get bloody. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Pound of Flesh, in China to donate his kidney for his dying niece, Deacon, former Black Ops agent, awakes the day before the operation to find his latest victim of organ thief, stitched up and pissed off, written on the back of the box, man. Deacon descends from the hotel in search of a stolen kidney and craves a blood-soaked path through the darkest corners of the city. Fight clubs, brothels, back alleys, black markets, elite billionaire estates. The clock is ticking for his niece, and with each step he loses blood. Pound for Flesh sees Van Damme back to what he does best, non-stop hardcore action. Yeah, it's a really good movie, that. I enjoyed that. It wasn't what I expected straight away. I'm really surprised it's a 15, like, but yeah, definitely. See, again, this is quite new. 2014, so it's 6 years, but yeah. It's a long one as well, it's an hour and 4, but yeah. Next one I mean, it's down to Derailed. Or Swelter. I mean, Swelter's a good movie as well, but we've got Derailed. I'm waiting on Blackwater coming from the post, but the post is delayed. And I'm editing in the background, as you can maybe see. I'm working on Welcome to the Land of the Long White Cloud, and I can't watch Sky because Sky's in the other room unless I unplug the box. That's too much. I'll try and watch it when I'm in bed instead of watching the X-Files. Right, let's find another one.
I've done it to myself again. Did you see the circle dissolve? I had to put it in. So this is Derailed. Derailed happens to be my first ever solo podcast. It's done really well, podcast online. The idea of this, you know, Steven Seagal on a Siege 2 on a train, Van Damme action movie on a train, die on a train kind of thing. Now it's Bulgarian. Zarko, one of my friends from Bulgaria, is in it. There's a guy as well, I'm sure he's in the tournament, but he's got a big beard in it anyway. There's a couple of familiar faces. The bad guy is the guy from Bodyguard.
Chris Van Damme is in this as well. He's Dead Tiny. He plays Van Damme's son. Scenario is Van Damme's looking after somebody. They're on a train. His family turn up on the train. The train goes to hell and back, basically. The editing is absolutely terrible. It's painful. Excuse me. Some of the special effects are just crap. I mean, there's a bit where Van Damme's on a motorbike on top of the train, riding across the other side of the train, and jumps off and shoots somebody, and it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, so there's quite a few extras in it. All looks like it's been shot on poor man's process on the train. The end bit with the model and stuff like that, and the fucking Apache helicopter and the bridge exploding. It's like, oh my god, why did you even put that in? Just stop the movie there. And the cheesy ending as well. It's got a rap song at the end of it I listen to, you know, fair enough. I mean, someone's got to, you know, do you want to be in the new Van Damme film? Do you want to drop a rap? That's fine, you know, but man, it's just, you know, this looks like one of Van Damme's first adventures across the broad to the Bulgarian side of it. 2002 would have been really early on. So this is pretty much after the funk of Sony picture deal, maybes. 125 minutes to 15. A train rockets across Eastern Europe on board one agent Christophe, international action star Jean-Claude Van Damme. A beautiful, his wife is named there by the way, beautiful high-tech thief holding the passengers hostage, and a band of terrorists have come to steal the biological weapon hidden on board. With the train out of control on a collision course for danger, Christophe becomes one-man army taking on the terrorists, trying to save the lives of everyone on board. So that's the synopsis of the movie. As I say, I remember this being on the shelf. This is like an original. This is the original What the Fuck for Van Damme. I watched it. I didn't know what the fuck I was watching. I got up the next day. I did the podcast live and raw, and then it's been literally second of last film I've got. So the next one's going to be Swelter. Blackwater hasn't got here yet, and I will watch We Die Young on Sky Movies, which had just come out before the lockdown as well. So, but man, like I mean, I think that's one of his worst ones. It's got to be. Okay, the next one is Swelter. Now, I had this on DVD, and when I seen it to buy on Blu-ray, I picked it up straight away because I wrote a review, fast forward review for this, and it was probably going to be part of season 4. Obviously, we never made season 4. But yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme front and centre, but it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. This film has some brilliant photography in it, even with the church crucifix and the car coming down. Now, it's a flashback story. It's about 10 years earlier, and there's a heist gone wrong, and basically Jean-Claude Van Damme just out of prison along with his gang, and the strange thing is he is the Anne character. So there's a main henchman, and Van Damme really just is like, you know, out for a little bit of justice of his own, but he plays it really well, and not at one point does Van Damme steal the show, except for his acting. He is brilliant in it for just being the and person. He's not super jumping high flying kicks. A couple of recognisable faces in it. Doc Ock, Alfred Moylina, and Jamie and Lenny James are in this. Good little heist story in a small town. Bit like Desert Heat, that kind of setting. He put it on. Rolls really well. Some bleak moments. It's got a pretty strong backbone. It's written and directed by Palmer, Keith Palmer. So he's written and directed it. And as I say, you can't go wrong with it, really. Swelter is the story of the most notorious robbery in Las Vegas history. 5 men, nicknamed the Rat Pack, hit the casino. $100 million. 4 men are captured, whilst one barely escapes 10 years later after blasting their way out of maximum security prison. The 4 are hot on the trail of the former accomplice and remaining $10 million in cash. They find him in the desert town, a changed man. He's now a law-abiding sheriff who must remember the violent history in a bid to protect now holds dear. So yeah, he's got a bit of an amnesia going on. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's one of Van Damme's best film in a long time. But again, it's because he's not the starring role. He's been really well directed in this, I think. So yeah, Swelter. And that is all the ones I actually have until
Black Water comes probably tomorrow. I ordered it a week ago, especially this quarantine. I want to try and watch We Die Young on the telly. But yeah, because if I just get on IMDb, let's have a look at Van Damme on IMDb. Yeah, Van Damme. Still using his profile picture from Hard Target. So let's have a look at his actor. I mean, let's have a quick look down there. Producer, maybe. Yeah. No. Just seen it was the curveball, but there's not. So 75 films. That's 48 Van Damme movies in there. Legend of Johnny Jones is not out yet. Minions, the new one's not out yet. We Die Young, I'll be on the screen. Black Water. So there you go. These two newer films that are available there, be the last two. Kickboxer Retaliation, yep. Lucas, also known as The Bouncer. Jean-Claude Van Johnson, Kill Them All, had that one. Kickboxer Vengeance, Kung Fu Panda Free, don't have any of the Kung Fu Pandas. So there's one for the, if there is, volume 6. Ching Bing Man, Jean-Claude Van Damme, no idea. Pound of Flesh, Swelter, which we've just seen there, Stillman. Eagle Path, not been available yet. Enemies Closer, Welcome to the Jungle, 6 Bullets. Alien Uprising, also known as UFO, I'll keep an eye out for that. I did wonder why Van Damme was the UFO movie a while back, but Dragon Eyes, no sign of Dragon Eyes 2. No idea what that's called. Razinki Paviv Napolia. There we go. Expendables 2 and Universal Soldier, Assassination Games, Belvia Salvavi. I have no idea. Kung Fu Panda 2. Alright, so I might have to get these Kung Fu Pandas. There's 2 films. Alright, so maybe Robot Chicken. I have a couple of seasons of Robot Chicken. Universal Soldier Regeneration, JVC, The Shepherd, Until Death, High School, Charles, never heard of that. Also known as Silver. Second in Command, The Hard Corps, Cameo in Las Vegas, Cameo in Narco, Wake of Dead, In Hell, Derailed, Replicant, The Order, Inferno, also known as Dead Heat, Megadeth, Crush Them All, who's in the music video, Universal Soldier The Return, Knockoff, Legionnaire, Double Team, Friends, Maximum Risk, The Quest, Street Fighter the video game, Sudden Death, Street Fighter, Time Cop, Hard Target, Last Action Hero, yes, Dan Percy's in Last Action Hero, Universal Soldier, Double Impact, AWOL, also known as Lionheart, Death Warrant, Cyborg, Kickboxer, Black Eagle, Bloodsport. We can only made Black Eagle in between Kickboxer and Bloodsport. Wouldn't have said that. No. No Retreat, No Surrender, Break-In, that's the one I've been getting wrong. Missing in Action, Marco Forever, also known as the Karate Man, which, you know, be rare as fuck, and Woman in the Twilight Garden, Man in the Garden, uncredited. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait maybe a year or two. It's quarantine for more 10 Van Damme films. I'll keep an eye out for UFO and the Kung Fu Pandas on the cheapy chips. But yeah, have to wait and see. Yeah, if he was in Rush Hour 3 like he was meant to be, there would have been another one. But yeah, pick the series up when Blackwater gets here, and we'll watch We Die Young on the computer. On the Skybox.
I have a package from Jcvd. I think I remember them saying something was out of stock. So let's have a look what's in this box. Deadwood, mint. I've got the TV show. Managed to pick the Blu-ray box set up. Massive fan of Justified. Only seen a couple of episodes of Deadwood, but sort of like Timothy on the font, man. It's just that this was the fucking man. It was really cheap, that. Right, okay. Blackwater, Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren reunite in the world's biggest submarine. It's not the biggest submarine, the rooms are massive. Need that for my good, the bad, and the what the fucks. Yeah, there's definitely something missing out here. Yeah, there's something missing. So what about Bob? Fucking had to get that back. Don't hassle me, I'm local. Got my t-shirt, don't have the film anymore. So Hudson Hawk is missing. So I'm waiting on Hudson Hawk to come. Rear Window, Steelbook. I couldn't knock the price of this. I do have Rear Window in the Hitchcock box set. I just love it, especially with being a big fan of the Burbs. So open this up there. I love it how Raymond Blair's in it as well, who I've only ever seen in the Godzillas, like the American cuts of the original Godzilla movies. Not a collector of random back bits, even though that is a really, normally that's card, that's really cheap. But you obviously got him looking through his windows, Raymond Blair there when he comes in, the Hitchcock effect. That's quite, he's good on the back. Open it up. It's the same disc as in the box set, but I just love it. I love that. So it was really cheap though. I think when it first came out and I seen it on fucking Zavvi, it was like 19 quid, and that cost me £6. It's a bit creaky that one, like, but £6 Rear Window. Hudson Hawk's not there though. Gut run. So what about Bob? Was the one to get it over 20 quid, so I'm waiting on Hudson Hawk coming. But Hudson Hawk, I've always wanted it, love it, done the podcast for it, have it on VHS, have it on DVD. But Signature One, I think that's what they're called. It's a weird label where the, I was going to say Super Troopers handy. Yeah, Signature One, that's what they're called, Super Troopers. They're like, see, they're expensive label. They never seem to be in any offers. Then all of a sudden they'll have a massive blowout. Now Super Troopers, I bought it in the 2 for 25 offer because I needed an extra 2 for 25 title. And 2 days later I went down to 4 quid. I was like, what? But again, just sort of like, even though Blu-ray is my department, I was just like, what? But you can't just go bring it back, so I'd already fucking watched it. I was just like, ah. But again, it's just like, that's one of the reasons why I never really run around and buy anything brand new unless it's something like, for example, if I was at work now and Bad Boys for Life came out, I'll be buying that first day because it's a fucking awesome movie. But a lot of the time I'll just wait till it goes in an offer and something like that, because stuff like that just creeps up and burns you. It's just like, what should I get in the 2 for 25? You've got Super Troopers, and I had something else, and I went, oh, I'll get Super Troopers because I love Super Troopers. Fucking 2 days later I went to 4 quid. What? But yeah, Hudson Hawk went down. I think, you know, it's been about 15 quid on Blu-ray, and I think I got it for £4 from Jcvd.com. So, like, I don't care if it's late, I know it's coming. Right, I don't even know what this fucking video goes in. I tell you what, I'm just going to put in the Jean-Claude Van Damme, the good, the bad, and the what the fucks, because Blackwater would be next. Yeah, so there we go, let's go, the good, the bad, the what the fucks. Random unboxing in the middle, why not? Okay. Blackwater. Now, there's another movie called Blackwater, which is a crocodile movie. It's really good. And I did a review for Fast Forward Reviews, and then this was in development, and then by the time I got around to editing that, it came out. So that's why it was tagged on originally. Just got through this to the post, if you've seen the last clip. So this happens on the world's biggest submarine. So Van Damme, Lundgren, they're on the power duo on the same side for the first time. Universal Soldier, Dave Reckoning was before this. Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren are on the same side then. Now Chris Van Damme is in this as well. Playing a henchman, pulling the whole B in, bald head. It's fucking crazy to see him in Derailed, then all grown up with this, it's mental. So Van Damme basically much gets black bagged. He's sleeping around with this agent, has a bit of a shootout, ends up being tracked down in the car park by the Sandman from Death Warrant. There he's back. Anyway, Van Damme finds himself in the cell next door to Marco, played by Dolph Lundgren, and sort of talks through the wall, you know. And there's a bit of conspiracy coming in there. This new agent comes in, along with the Sandman, along with the backup crew, along with 2 other agents, and they're in the submarine, a black site submarine, half controlled by legit submarine workers. There's no access, and they basically much, it's a prison, it's a floating prison. So yeah, the world's biggest prison, because again, submarines are all dead hatchy and stuff like this. There's fucking huge corridors in this. But yeah, it's basically much escape, battle, in the last minute, release the fucking Lundgren to kick ass as well. It's not a bad movie, it's what it is. I mean, the story's a bit of an espionage, a bit of conspiracy about who's who. You know, it's a typical Van Damme film, to be honest with you. Yeah, Lundgren's good in it as well, but you can see it's low budget through and through. You know, there's no like going on, it's like, oh my god, I didn't see that twist coming. It's like, right, Van Damme is getting interrogated, he's going to get out, Lundgren's going to go out. But again, when they've got the Sandman, it's like, oh cool, it's the Sandman. Spoiler alert, Sandman doesn't last that very long. And then you just got him against like almost no baddies.
Is that for his son? You know, Van Damme's son. If he's not his son in the movie, he's his baddie. So yeah. Next one will have to be We Die Young, but I'll have to watch that on Sky the next couple of days. But yeah, good the bad, what the fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Ow. Ow. Oh, okay, so I've decided not to do We Die Young as the last Van Damme film, because I actually want to physically own it. It's on the Skybox. But I think tallying up, if I get UF4 and maybe Kung Fu Panda, there's 4, and then he's got a few coming out. So there will be another Jean-Claude Van Damme down the line. Now, Van Damme, we did meet, I didn't meet him, but the crew of the tournament did meet him for the tournament while he was doing The Shepherd. So did a bit of researching on that. Just wasn't available at the time slot. But randomly enough on my tally, JVC's Day Out has appeared, and fucking honest to God, I've laughed. And I've also laughed at Van Damme doing his fitness. Not in general like he's doing a fitness video, but just to hear Van Damme and how generally funny he is when he hasn't got a script and he's just talking. Watched a little documentary there about Dolph Lundgren being cut from Double Team, and that's why there was 2 Van Dammes. You know, he interestingly learns stuff. But if you haven't seen JVC's Day Out, it's class. He goes out, gets his glasses on, he has this walk. And the walk's class. And everyone's like, hey JVC, high five, and he like jumps up and gives them a kick. I can't fucking kick. I've just done these stretches for it. Can I at least get it on the screen? There. No. Oh. No, can't do it. So respect to the guy, because he's doing splits in his training video with his chair. Anyway, he goes around and high fives people, kicking people in the face, jumping out of bins. I mean, my bin's just about to get empty. I was like, oh, I can just get my bin tomorrow, then film this. I'll keep not know what's going on in this world. But he jumps up and like helps a blind guy, and then headbutts a guy in a car, and you're just like, what the fuck? And it's I think it's his daughter and Chris Van Damme have made it, and it's really funny. This has been Van Damme. This is the 50th entry. So the 50th entry is his YouTube channel, so check it out. JVC's World. He's got training videos on there. He's got hiding in bins and stuff, and just some interesting like figures. Like, but yeah, it's 50 Van Damme films. Obviously, we're going to spin off into the Scott Atkins one and wrap up the volume 2 of that. But yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme, utter legend. A guy who was passionate enough, a guy who had ability, and he was hungry enough to just go for it. Even like the fact that Bloodsport was just a throwaway script and he made something of it. So yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme, legend, and this has been The Good, the Bad, and What the Fucks, Volume 5 of Jean-Claude Van Damme. See you in the Scott Atkins one. Goodbye for now. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm hoping it's Hudson Hawk. A little bit late, but you know. Get in, Hudson Hawk. Get in. Absolutely love this movie. It's it's weird actually. I'll open it up actually because it's quite weird. I've done the podcast for it, so it's not like I can revisit it. It's just I hummed and hawed about buying it for ages on Blu-ray, but it's always been expensive. But for like £4.50 from HMV.com. Keep in mind I work for HMV, so you've got a little bit of discount here. What's weird about these is there's the cover. Hey, okay, Yevy. Looking to double print the bookers. I mean, why it doesn't bother with an alternative cover? It just goes for like Bruce Willis looking like. I mean, there's lots of. I mean, that's the picture that's on there, but obviously, like, there's been a few different covers over the years. Would you like to swing on a star? But yeah, Hudson Hawks here. And yeah, probably just go in the pile.
And now, the end is here.